We're glad you're with us tonight. I'm Lynn Brooks.
And I'm Terri Brewer. Up first tonight, Alabama residents are deciding if they will approve a constitutional amendment to help balance the state's general fund budget.
More now in tonight's top story. Voters are considering whether to take out $437 million from a state trust fund for the general fund for the next 3 years. That trust fund is made up of royalties from gas and oil drilling off the Gulf Coast. The state's rainy day fund is the interest from these royalties. The state is allowed to take 75% of the interest each year to use wherever it needs. State officials say voting no means the gap that exists in the budget already will have to be met by cutting services or some other revenue source. Election officials told us so far the turnout has been light.
In my opinion, it's been light, but it hasn't been as light as some of the other elections we've handled. Like we're running about almost par with the last primary we had.
And if you haven't yet made it out to the polls, you still have some time. Those polls are open until 7 p.m. WVUA will have all the results tonight on WVUA News at 10.
There's a new twist in the legal battle over Alabama's troubled prepaid college tuition program. The issue will head back to the Alabama Supreme Court on Monday. A Montgomery judge ruled the law passed by lawmakers permitting reduced tuition payments is constitutional. The state Supreme Court had asked the circuit judge to review the law before the high court considers it. If the Supreme Court agrees with the ruling, then the PACT plan will be able to pay reduced rates rather than full tuition. The state treasurer said the program is paying full tuition for the fall semester since the case is pending. The PACT board hopes for a ruling before the spring semester.
The Northport City Council is putting a restriction on what types of businesses can make Northport home. Mayor Bobby Herndon says a 6-month moratorium is banning 12 types of businesses from the city and its police jurisdiction. Herndon says the ban is on tattoo and piercing parlors, pawn shops, fireworks stands, tobacco shops, adult book or item stores, hand car washes, and any type of loan or check cashing store. Herndon says businesses like these that already exist will be grandfathered in and are allowed to stay open. According to city officials, the decision comes after numerous complaints about an overabundance from citizens. Officials say there will be a study done regarding this during the 6-month period.
Our staff will be just evaluating how many businesses do we have already. You know, how does that compare with the ratio of those businesses to other cities? How do they fit in our new zoning classifications? How close or far apart do we want those businesses?
We want to make sure that that we are growing the community with the types of businesses that we want. We want diversity.
According to the ordinance, the moratorium does not allow for existing businesses to move from their current location. Hear from a Northport business owner tonight on WVUA News at 6. In Tuscaloosa, the Planning and Zoning Commission has voted to oppose a proposed amendment banning certain businesses in the recovery zone. It would ban check cashing operations, pawn shops, payday loan services, tattoo parlors, and other businesses from those areas. Right now, these restricted businesses are allowed to operate within the mixed-use zones within certain guidelines. The issue now heads to the City Council.
Now an update on a woman who was attacked while traveling down Interstate 2059. As we reported yesterday, the woman and her 3 children were in a vehicle when a large brick was thrown from the overpass. She was hit in the chest and neck. Friends have identified the victim as Melissa Currington. An account has been established to help with medical expenses. The account is under her name at Alabama One Credit Union. 2 Tuscaloosa County teenagers are being charged with assault in connection with this incident.
The Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Office is learning about dealing with people who are living with mental illness. Officers from Houston County are heading up the 3-day program. All areas of the Sheriff's Office, including deputies, paramedics, investigators, and supervisors, are going through these training sessions. Sheriff Ted Sexton says over the years there's been an increase in situations where authorities encounter situations that involve mental illness.
We deal with mental health issues every day on the street or in the jail. our jail population's been up as high as 40% involved with some sort of mental health screening, treatment, so on and so forth. What this will do is give our officers more experience.
The sheriff's office told us they do annual training, but it's been about 5 years since they've gone through training sessions like these.
Now, the latest on the deadly attacks on the U.S. Embassy in Libya. The White House says it does not have any indication the attack was premeditated. White House spokesman Jay Carney says the attack is still under investigation and that assessment could change. Carney says there is no evidence to back up claims the attacks that killed 4 Americans, including the U.S. ambassador to Libya, were planned, but the Libyan president says foreign militants plotted the attack for months. Mitt Romney is defending controversial comments captured by a hidden camera at a private fundraiser back in May. Clips were posted Monday afternoon on the left-leaning news websites Mother Jones and the Huffington Post.
They show Romney shooting from the hip on a range of issues. Romney says the remarks were off the cuff and not elegantly stated, but he sticks by the main message. Andrew Spencer has the story.
In one clip, Mitt Romney jokes about wishing his father's parents had been Latino.
Had he been born of Mexican parents, I'd have a better shot at winning this, but he was unfortunately born of Americans living in Mexico. He lived there for a number of years, and I mean, I say that jokingly, but it would be helpful to be Latino.
And he goes off on Obama supporters.
There are 47% who are with him, who are dependent upon government, who believe that they are victims, who believe that government has a responsibility to care for them.
The Obama campaign issued a response saying of a Romney presidency, quote, "It's hard to serve as president for all Americans when you've disdainfully written off half the nation." In a news conference late Monday night, Romney said he could have spoken more clearly, but said he was trying to point out the differences between the two campaigns.
We have a very different approach, the president and I, between a government-dominated society and a society driven by free people pursuing their dreams. This is really a discussion about the political process of winning the election. And of course, I want to help all Americans have a bright and prosperous future. And I'm convinced that the president's approach has not done that and will not do that. Yeah, Garrett?
I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
Romney also called on the person who secretly recorded the speech to release the entire video rather than just snippets. By the way, the Romney campaign has announced it will now allow video cameras into some of its private fundraisers.